Bro, I've been trying to do this intro all morning, but the sun keeps going in and out of the clouds, alright? So it just messes up my camera. It's gone for now, so let's do this quick, alright? Today we're going to be looking at the top 5 best added characters to Injustice 2 Mobile. We're not going to talk about characters that were already in the game at launch, and we're not going to talk about characters that were refactored at some point in time, like the League of Anarchy team. We're only going to talk about characters that were brand new at some point in time, like Raven and Collector of Worlds Superman. With that being said, I know a lot of you guys love watching my top 5s. My apologies, I have not been doing a lot of top 5s recently, but that's going to change. I have a lot of good ideas for top 5 videos, so don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and with that being said, I hope all of you have a good day. All of you good-looking people out there watching me right now, I hope you guys have a good day, man. Stay safe and stay clean, and let's start the video. Okay, so the first character I want to talk about is going to be Shazam. Shazam is an amazing support character, and he's a really good tank character. That's why he's coming in at number 5. So basically, this character works really good with Arcane and Might teammates because of his passive 1 that gives those specific teammates 100% attack bonus. Now, the funny thing about this passive 1 is that everybody agrees it's a good passive, but, you know, if you want to compare it to a character like nowadays, like Raven, it's not even close to the amount of overpoweredness of Raven. However, back in the day, King of Atlantis Aquaman was easily the strongest character in the game, and we could have never imagined that we would have gotten a character like Shazam that works so well with such a strong character, making the character even stronger. Because back in the day, you know, we didn't do as much damage as we do now. So when Shazam came out, it was insane. Everybody wanted to get this character because they wanted to put it with King of Atlantis Aquaman. And like I said, you can't really compare the amount of damage that Shazam does compared to Raven. However, back in the day, Shazam was basically the Raven of the game because everybody wanted to get the character. But even though that passive 1 was pretty much the only reason why people wanted to get the character, Shazam can still do a lot of different things. Like for example, his special abilities are really good. His special 1 can chain and do an infinite combo if you have the father box, or if you move the opponent all the way to the right, and his special 2 and his special 3 can heal up the entire team automatically on activation. And on top of that, his passive 2 has a chance of activating his special 3 for free if you block the opponent's special ability, and on top of that, you can also take 100% less critical attack damage from the opponent, which is not really that good, but it's his passive 3, so it really doesn't matter, and it's a nice little bonus for the character. And the cherry on top with this character is that you can get the character pretty fast since he's an arena season character, so you don't have to buy the character, and you don't have to grind for months and weeks to get the character. Just when his arena season comes, just rank high enough to get enough shards to unlock the character. Anyways, with that being said, now let's move on to number 4, which is going to be Batman Ninja Catwoman. Batman Ninja Catwoman is a really interesting character when you look at the history of the character. When she was first added in the game, she was not that good. And then, later on, we got a refactor for the character. And then, later on, we learned how to combo interrupt to do pretty much infinite combos. And then after that, we got an artifact that would make this character one of the best damage dealers we've ever seen in the game. So yeah, like I said, this character's history is very interesting. And I don't really know where to put this character correctly, just because if you want to talk about the character when she first came out, yeah, she was not that good. She was a terrible character. But now, she's a really, really overpowered character. And I can't ignore that. I know that not everybody has the beta club, but I can't ignore that. You know, the fact that she could do billions and billions of damage, that's a huge redemption story. From going to barely being a good character at first when she came out, to being one of the top 3 characters for damage in the game right now, that's an insane redemption story, so I had to put her on this list, despite the fact that she was bad at first. Okay, so with that out of the way, now let's talk about the actual character. This character, first of all, really needs the entire Batman Ninja team in terms of Batman Ninja Robin and Batman Ninja Gorilla Grodd. However, if you want to get these characters, it's not that hard because they have a versus challenge. And on top of that, you also want to have Batman Ninja Harley Quinn on your roster so she can give her Batman Ninja teammates a couple more damage bonuses. And in terms of what the character can actually do, Batman Ninja Catwoman can do a lot of different things. First of all, her passive 1 makes her immortal for 9 seconds when her health drops below 15%. This is really not that good, especially nowadays. Most people have their Batman Ninja team built pretty good, so, you know, your Catwoman is not going to die. But at the same time, with this immortal passive, you never have to worry about anything. She's never, ever, ever gonna die because she basically becomes immune for those 9 seconds. And on top of that, her special 2 can actually do dot damage to the opponent, which she will heal a percentage of that dot damage, and it lasts for a long time. I think it's like 30 seconds. So yeah, she's definitely not gonna die. If she does manage to lose a lot of health, she just gets it right back with her special 2, and on top of that, it's going to be even harder for the opponents to kill you again, because with her other passive, she inflicts blind on special abilities. So even if you do manage to mess up, it would be an incredible feat if you actually manage to die with this character. And finally, for her passive 3, this is one of those passives that sounds really good in practice, but it's not that good in the game. So the first part is pretty good. You will get a percentage of the power cost of the opponent's special abilities if you block it. That's great. That's pretty much free power just for blocking. But the second part makes it so inconvenient. Basically, if you block an entire special ability from the opponent, you will trigger your special 3 for free. This is not good, man. This is not good when you want to fight certain characters. First of all, you want to build a combo before doing special abilities, right? Because without the combo, you're not going to be doing a lot of damage. And second of all, some opponents can block after their special ability. So if you block their special ability and then you do your special ability, they can block it. And then after that, it's going to be really bad because the entire flow of the match is ruined and you're going to have to start over. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to die. It just means that you have to waste a lot of time resetting the opponent AI to get them to do what you want to do. And in terms of what her special abilities can do, I already talked about her special 2, which does dot damage and heal. Her special 1 does more damage towards blind opponents, and her special 3 can decrease the power generation for the opponent, and it also gives you lethal attack chance for a certain amount of time. Anyways, that pretty much explains the entire history of the character and what the character can do. So now we're going to move on to number 3, which is going to be Black Manta. So the reason why I wanted to put Black Manta on top of Batman Ninja Catwoman was because when Black Manta first came out, he was not that bad like Batman Ninja Catwoman was. This character has been good pretty much ever since he was launched. He's been a really, really good character. And just like Batman Ninja Catwoman, this character can do a lot of different things. The main difference is that this character is basically a one-man army. I mean, sure, you want to put Brainiac, you want to put Just League Flash, Vixen, or whatever as teammates, but this character ultimately is a one-man army. He can do damage, which is what he is. He's a damage dealer. And he does not have to worry about health or anything like that. You don't have to worry that much about combo building because he already does a lot of basic attack damage. So his special abilities afterwards are going to be strong on top of his strong basic attack damage. It's just insane. This character can do so many different things. As a matter of fact, this character is one of those rare cases where I can't really explain the entire character the way it's written down because I would literally be here all day talking about the character. So instead, I'm just going to summarize this character as fast as I possibly can. First, let's talk about his special abilities. His special 1 decreases power generation for the opponent after usage. His special 2 can apply burn, which burn halves the opponent's defense. And his special 3 has stun, and it will also work on bosses. Now, that's just his special abilities. That is not his passives. Let's talk about the passives, because the passives is what makes the character so good. So his passive 1 applies heal block to the opponent, and it applies dot damage, a lot of dot damage, on the opponent after using their special ability. So in other words, after using any special ability, the opponent cannot heal up, and they're also going to be slowly dying from your dot damage. And the amount of dot damage that you do depends on the level of your character and also how much attack your character has. Now, that's really good in Arena because your opponent is going to die so fast and they just can't do anything about it, but his passive 2 is what makes the character so good in raids. So basically what his passive 2 can do is the more consecutive basic attack hits that you do, the more damage they're going to be doing, and it can stack up to 100 times. Every single basic attack hit is going to give you 8% more damage. So again, you could do that over time up to 100 times, and your basic attack hits will slowly start to do a lot of damage. At first, it doesn't look like it, but then once you multiply this by 100 times and you get the 100 stack, you're going to be doing a lot of basic attack damage. That's what makes this character so good in raids. And just to clarify, I said you get 8% more damage per basic attack hit, but that changes depending on the promotion of your character. Right now, my promotion is 4 stars, so once you get up to 6 stars, it might be closer to 10%. And finally, for his passive 3 gives him a huge health bonus whenever he enters a match, and he also makes it so that the more you block, the more effective your block gets over time, kind of like his basic attack hits. Now, with that that being said, just keep in mind that whenever you're going to stack basic attack hits or block, those things are run on timers. So they're not going to be there forever. You have to keep up with the timer and keep doing basics and keep blocking to keep the stacks that you have. So yeah, with that being said, I think you guys understand why I put this character at number 3. If you want to put Brainiac on this character to make him even crazier, don't worry, Brainiac is an easy character to get from the Versus Challenge. I know getting Black Manta and his gears is going to be a pain, but once you do get the character, you're going to love him. Everybody loves this character for a reason, and that reason is because he can do everything. Okay, so anyways, now moving on to number 2. Alright, I'm pretty sure everybody knows who's going to be number 1 and number 2, but number 2 is going to go to King of Atlantis Aquaman. When King of Atlantis Aquaman first came out in the game, bro, it was wild, man. It was wild. We would have never thought back in the day that we would see a character like King of Atlantis Aquaman. We didn't have raids back in the day, and then we did. Everybody loved raids, and then we just got this character that completely smashed everything in his path in raids, and again, that is King of Atlantis Aquaman. So one of my favorite things about talking about this character is just the fact that he's so famous. When a character is so famous that I literally don't even really have to explain the character, it makes my life so much easier. So let me just say this, alright? King of Atlantis Aquaman's special 3, takes away percentages of health of the opponent, 10% at a time, or 10% at a time, and it can go up to 30%. That is insane. If your opponent has a lot of health, you're basically going to be doing a lot of damage because you're going to take away 10%, and then 10%, and then 10%, because you can only do it 3 times. But then on top of that, his Special 2 and Special 1 don't have any damage bonuses or anything like that, but his Passive 1 does give the entire character a lot more attack, because the more that you use your special abilities, the higher your damage buff is going to go up, and it's going to go up to 600%. And just as a bonus, he has 2 other passives. His Passive 2 can block the opponent's super move after using your super move for 1 minute, and his Passive 3 brings King of Atlantis Aquaman back from the dead if he dies, according to how many power bars he has. If you max out the passive, you get 10% of health per power bar. Oh, and also, if you want to get the character, he's one of the easiest characters ever to get. All you have to do is play raids, get the Justice League credits, and then go get him off of the League store, and that's it. You can also get his gears from the League store, which makes it even easier. So to summarize everything I just said in the last minute, which is already summarized, King of Atlantis Aquaman can't die, and he does a lot of damage. That's basically all you have to know. And with that being said, now that we're done talking about King of Atlantis Aquaman, let's talk about the number 1 spot, which is going to be, of course, Raven, the most overpowered character we've ever seen in the game. And who knows, man, maybe in the future, we're going to look back and see that Raven actually wasn't that good compared to the characters in the future, just like what happened with Shazam. That would be totally wild, man. But for right now, yeah, Raven is just a different breed. She makes every character a damage dealer, pretty much. And the main reason why, and as a matter of fact, this is the only thing I'm going to talk about, is because of her Passive 1. Her Passive 1 applies darkness to the opponent, and whenever you do apply darkness to the opponent, you just get a massive, massive, massive damage bonus, right? And it can stack, I believe, up to 500% for every character, man. So it's basically like King of Atlantis Aquaman's Passive 1, but it works for any character. And there's a lot of characters out there that are very OP, like Heartbreak or Harley Quinn, that could do similar damage to King of Atlantis Aquaman nowadays without Raven. So imagine putting Raven on that character, or imagine putting Raven with King of Atlantis Aquaman. These characters are just doing way beyond what they should be doing with Raven. It is so wild. Like, that's the only way you could really put it, man. I mean, look, dude, I know I sound like a boomer because I keep saying it, but back in the day, right, we would have never thought we could do 10 million damage. And then we did 100 million damage. And then we did 200 million damage. And now we're doing 2 billion damage, right? I think that's the damage record right now. 2 billion something, right? So the 200 million that we thought we would never reach is just a little tiny sprinkle of the amount of damage you could do with characters nowadays with Raven. And we just would have never thought 200 mil was possible. So 2 billion was mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And sure, maybe you need the Beta Club or whatever. Maybe you need Heartbreak or Harley Quinn. Maybe you need specific things. But at the end of the day, what takes those things to the next level is Raven. And look, I know that she has, special abilities that could do certain things. I know she has a passive 2 and a passive 3, and that's great. Those are bonuses. But those things are just tiny specks of water in an ocean of what her passive 1 can do. So yeah, with that being said, I don't really have to point out anything else. If you guys have any different opinions for a character that should be here, let me know down in the comments section. There's a lot of characters I wanted to add, like Collector of Worlds Superman, because he could do a lot of things, but there was just no space in this top 5 for those characters. Maybe we could do a part 2, but this is going to be my, top 5 for right now. And as a matter of fact, I might be a little bit biased to some of these characters just because, when they first came out, they had a huge impact in the game. Maybe more so than a lot of you guys can imagine, because back in the day, the game was so different. But yeah, for right now, this is going to be my top 5. With that being said, hope you guys have a good day, stay safe and stay clean, and thank you very much for watching.